Hello everyone, you made it to another Wednesday. I hope that you are feeling great and having a good week. It's kind of a gray, cloudy day today here in Lincoln, Nebraska, but this is our last Wednesday of March and it's not snowing, so I'll take it. It means that spring is soon arriving, starting to see some green happening, which is just amazing. I'm always happy when spring becomes what we're dealing with and a little less winter and snow. But I hope that you're doing great. I wanted to share just a thought with you from the first chapter of the New Testament in the Bible, Matthew chapter 1. It may be a chapter that you zip through pretty quickly because it is one of those chapters of the genealogies that we find in the Bible. And I'll be honest, those aren't my favorite places to hang out, but this genealogy that we find in Matthew chapter 1 is so fascinating because it's the genealogy of Jesus. And as you read through it, which I'm not going to do today, you see how Matthew ties Jesus to David, the son of David, the son of Abraham. And it's just fascinating when you read through all the things, but it's something that you might miss as to why this is so neat about Jesus and his story. Matthew, of course, is writing this believing that Jesus is the Messiah, believing that he's the Son of God. With that in his mind, would he write it this way? Only if it's true. Because Matthew goes on to include in Jesus' genealogy people we wouldn't expect. You wouldn't expect to, if you were talking about someone who was a king, someone who's important, the Messiah, the Son of God, you wouldn't think that you would include in his human background and his ancestry people who weren't Jewish. You kind of wouldn't do that, but Matthew does. And you wouldn't include ladies in the genealogy. It's kind of odd to have female in genealogies, and yet that's what Matthew does. Now you might say, well, those ladies that he included must have been high, upstanding women. Well, he includes Rahab in the story, and not exactly the most high upstanding lady in society. And he includes the shady story about David and Uriah's wife, all in Jesus' genealogy. Why bring this up? I think that it speaks to me because when Matthew includes this, he shows that Jesus' background, his human history, was messy. But that didn't mean that Jesus wasn't the perfect Son of God. Your background, your history, your life may be messy, but that doesn't mean that Jesus isn't your Messiah, that he isn't your Savior. This is one of the reasons why I think we can believe this story about Jesus, because if you were a liar, if Matthew was a liar just trying to come up with a story to make himself and his former rabbi who was crucified to try to make everybody look good, he wouldn't write it this way. You wouldn't include it this way. You only include females and foreigners in the story of Jesus' background and ancestry if it's true. So this is one of the reasons why I believe this story, why I believe this book, the Bible, and what it tells me about God and about Jesus, our Savior. So just wanted to encourage you with that and remind you, if your background is messy, God understands, and he loves you, and he's got wonderful plans for your today and your future. Hope you'll join us for worship this coming weekend. I hope you have a great rest of the week as well. We'll be having Sabbath school time and Bible study at 9:30 online and in person. And then we'll have a worship service at 11, and it's a special worship service because we're going to be having communion service. Celebrating the Lord's Supper is one of the best times of the year. We do it 4 times in the Adventist church, maybe more, but at least 4 times we try to do it. And it's just a special time to remember God's love and his sacrifice for us. So I hope that you'll join us this coming Saturday online or in person. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Take care, everyone. Let's take care of each other.